Welcome back to the channel and to the new Park Who Dis contest. It is time for the results. Quite overwhelming. But I simply can't face the pressure of doing this on my own, so I brought along the whole gang. Cockwaddle, Fuaranna, Haitches, Matty, MIKEOFPAIN, Nerdchacho, and Rellimetep. This is the part of the contest where I say, you're all winners, and does it really matter who made the top 5? And you all shout, yes you muppet, now shut up and tell us the results. Well, because you shouted at me, I'm going to make you wait even longer whilst I talk about today's sponsor. Our top 5 will be receiving a myriad of prizes, including Steam gift cards, which were kindly funded by EVLBOX. EVLBOX provides premier gaming services and experiences at a price accessible to most anyone. They have vast experience managing game server networks, e-commerce, and live video streaming services. I went into detail about their specific products in the last New Park Who Dis video, so just go back and watch it. I can't be expected to repeat myself. All you need to know is they provide some amazing services and they're great. Plus, I sent you, so they must be good. They've actually just released dedicated server hosting for Sons of the Forest, so that's rather exciting, isn't it? Make sure to use my affiliate link in the comments and tell them Moomin says hi. Right, without further ado, let's talk results. And to build even more tension, I'll start with the 10th place. You're welcome. I'm about to tell you the points each contestant received, but that information is useless unless you understand the point system, so listen up. For every 5th place vote, the creator receives 1 point. For every 4th place vote, they'd receive 2 points. 3rd place votes give 3 points, 2nd place 4 points, and 1st place 5 points. Simple. There were a total of 149 votes, 3 of which were void, leaving 146. Now you have context and are sufficiently riddled with anxiety, let's begin. In 10th place with 57 points is Risen with Blue Coal Valley. In 9th place with 72 points is Fuero with Rudder Valley. In 8th place with 103 points is Chrissy82 with Enchantia. Just 1 point ahead in 7th place is Curty Will with Kurt Stankia. And in 6th place with 109 points is Winder TV with The Great Movie Adventure. Congratulations to all of you, all very well deserved. Okay, it's time for the top 5, and for these we'll actually be jumping back into the parks. Goodness crikey. In 5th place with 120 points is a tie. I'm not sure my tiny heart can handle this. Our first 5th place winner receiving a £10 Steam gift card is Jarrow with Rada Kastek. And here we are in the park, and Cockwaddle, you were the guest on this spotlight. So how are you feeling about joint 5th for Jarrow?
Yeah, I was really happy to see this one placed in the top 5 because I was overwhelmed with it when I first saw it, and I just think it really deserves the place that it got. I think Jarrow for me did some of the best stuff in the sort of over-the-top category of theming, if you know what I mean. He loves doing the colossal stuff, the super colourful stuff, really crazy high-budget kind of stuff, and yeah, really happy with that as a number 5.
So yeah, as Caucus has just said there, what a showing this has been for Jarrow. It's lovely to see him placed as highly as what he has done. This for me is just a complete kind of showing of his talent as a builder, and also so much of his own personality in this park. There is no doubting that this is a Jarrow build, and very deserving of the position that he's landed in. Well done, mate.
Yes, I loved Jarrow's Dark Ride. It's just all the characters he builds is classic Jarrow in my point of view. You know, it's his classic style of comedy, which I think he nails.
It was easily one of the best Dark Rides of the contest, without a doubt.
My favourite part about his park is actually the Hellion Ring with his golem that he created. So I watched him do this on stream, and just his sort of creative process of sort of building it, taking a look from a viewpoint in a park and then adding something more to it. I just think it's 100% Jarrow.
I agree. It actually reminds me a lot of Clash Royale. There's a character in Clash Royale that's a golem with all these crystals poking out of it, and it seems very similar to that, weirdly. I don't know if it's at all inspired by that, but that's the vibes that it gives me. But completely agree with what you've all said. Jarrow's he's so playful in everything he does. As Cockwaddle said, everything's always larger than life, and he's just taken everything that he's known for and everything that he's great at and melded it perfectly into a park. And kept hold of what Rada Valley is, which is no easy feat with this scale of build.
Yeah, top work to Jared. Love that song.
Our second 5th place winner, also receiving a £10 Steam gift card, is Banner with Port Royal Gardens. And here we are in the park, and I have to say straight away, this was one of my favourites. And I think that was very clear from the spotlight. It was just, and I'm going to say it, Chacho, I'm sorry, it was just so clean.
So clean.
Just everything is in place. Absolutely spotless. You can't fault it. You literally can't fault it.
Yeah, so it's like you took the words completely out of my mouth. It's just so clean. It just inspires how you build realistic theme parks. The path cover, the grass, at the theatre. Because I was like, this is how I would build. And I was able to relate to that and say, yeah, okay, I recognise how this build style looks in real life. It was just so good.
I don't know how to put it into words, but it's one of the best parks I've seen.
It's landscaped exactly as you would find a park in real life. I think that's what activates about this park is, yes, it's got the whole fantasy element and it's always going to be a Planet Coaster and it'll always have a look and a feel about it. But in terms of landscaping and the layout of the park, this is exactly as you would find a real life park of this size. And I think that's why this park captured my attention so much, because it's just so realistic.
And that is coming from a theme park professional, or an ex-professional, sorry.
I used to do this as a job, don't you know?
You did it for quite a few years as well, I think. We have to go inside, obviously.
Look at this theatre.
Just as incredible as it was the first time.
Oh, good. It's the lighting, isn't it, that completes it. Like when you look at it in the dark, it's exactly as a theatre would be when you walk into it. It's dark, it's correctly lit, it looks right with all of the seats in the place. Everything's got its correct place to be in. The stage is in the right place. The sound panels are all there.
Yeah, everything is so perfectly placed. It's like pixel perfect. Just how? just how?
And not just the quality of the build, though. The thought to even go to the lens. I've never seen a theatre like this put into a park in Blanco before. Obviously, you'll see like various people using, like, say, playgrounds or like an open air stage or something like that. But a full-on internal theatre, as you say, fully lit, everything immaculately placed. Even like the speakers on the side, everything is just perfect about it.
But doesn't this come from experience? Banner's got experience in the theatre world, so that's
right, yeah.
The equivalent of building a realistic theme park based on your theme park experience. Banner's built this based on theatre experience, and that shows because it's incredible.
Relly, whilst you're talking, what are your thoughts?
Well, we've already touched on how just immaculately built this is, but one thing that also stood out to me was just the attention to detail on the coasters themselves. Very, very realistic layout. I believe Banner even went to the effort of fully custom supporting these as well. So
I believe he did.
Yeah, yeah. Just amazing work. Really fun rides, really realistic, but just integrated as everything else is so well into the surrounding terrain and scenery. It's a perfect job. And that lift as well on the spinning coaster. I've seen a couple of tricks like that done previously, but never to that degree where it's actually taking you up. I don't even know how he's done it to get the lift working as well as that. But to take you up for that first drop, it just worked perfectly. Very, very good work.
Yeah, using the ride cam time machine to black out the ride camera in order for you to go into the lift and then up this mangled mess of coaster and then out the top. I think, as you touched on before, just the thought to even have that idea in the first place is a skill, and then to execute it afterwards. And also this as well that I mentioned in the spotlight. This coaster track is entirely integrated into whatever this is. Is it plaster or concrete slabs?
Oh yeah, the intricacy on that, it's like everything else is just done perfectly.
The plaster and the concrete are the godsend. They're the hydro beams of the New World Panko building. Like, they've saved my skin so many times when you just don't know how to build a building and you don't want to stick to a grid. They just come out of nowhere and they just work and they're just there.
Oh god, yeah, the Armada.
Yes, let's not forget the Armada. Again, incredible dark ride, completely unique to what we saw across the rest of the contest. It completely changed the layout, but just look at the atmosphere in it, like the lighting.
Yeah, the lighting's stunning.
The ambiance. Absolutely incredible work and very deserving of being in the top 5. In 4th place with 142 points, receiving a £10 Steam gift card, is Flair with Adventure Valley. And here we are in the park. And Fua, this was one of ours, one of the times we spent together. How lovely it was.
It was very lovely.
It was. I have fond memories. I mean, this one, I just couldn't stop gushing over it the entire time, to be honest. It just... I think the main thing for me was how organically the whole thing just flowed. Everything just feels so... I'm going to say the word. It just feels so cohesive. Everything is on theme. It just connects beautifully one area to the other fluidly.
I mean, what you already said, I 100% agree. This was such a beautiful themed park and so polished. Everything, the pathing, every little rock that you can see in the rock work in that show section, it was blowing my mind. It was incredibly good, phenomenal. I absolutely love the vibe of the whole theme. You can just see that there was so much attention to detail put in this park. It was just incredible. I loved it. Absolutely loved it.
A lot of love went into this, and that's very clear. Mr. Haitches, you've been very quiet. It's time to drag you in.
Oh, okay, I'll be dragged in. I absolutely love this park mainly for the ground cover. Just how I don't even know the path. I usually just try and use the pathing for pathing, but this groundwork with the water under the playground and for certain sections, just to like show the path, and people are walking everywhere, and I have no idea what the path actually looks like underneath it. But I really was super impressed with like I don't remember which ride it was, but there was like really detailed screen work and sequencing.
Yes, I was just about to say,
yes.
I think it was Grey Bolt?
Yes, I think so as well, with the planes that took flight, right?
Yeah, and you could track the progress of the ride. It was super cool.
So we've got the pre-show room in here with Da Vinci's flying machines. And then, as you said, when we come into here, the ceiling maps where the coaster is as it goes.
And it's such a simple idea, but I would have never thought of it.
I've never seen something like this, and it's brilliant. If you would stand here in the queue, it would distract you from waiting. It's just so inventive.
Yeah, I think the thing that's been standing out so far with the parks in general is they've all got something very unique about them that's just a standout idea and perfectly executed as well, and seems to be a common trait. And this is just yet another park where Flair's gone in with a clear concept and just pulled it off so perfectly.
It's giving Terra Mythica vibes in Benidorm. It's that whole adventure, really, just like the other one, really clean, but everything's sandy, and it's all consistent colour palette right across the entire park, and it just sells the idea of tropical and pirates and island adventure.
Incredible work, Flair. In third place with 162 points, receiving a £25 Steam gift card, is Lucky with Radicron Station. And here we are in the park. Now, Cockers, you and I attended this park together, hand in hand.
What a beautiful afternoon we had.
It was delightful. We had such good weather.
Look at this.
But yeah, just where to even begin with this park? It's another prime example of a pixel perfect park. Even down to the thing that we noticed very late into the video, the neon strips that line every single path, which is just mind-blowing. Every ride skin just being completely unique and standout, from the warp gate there to something like the Gears of Fear, which is such an overly themed steampunk ride being utilised for sci-fi, and you just wouldn't even know. It's just absolutely incredible.
Yeah, the theming is just so intense, isn't it? I mean, Lucky's got a real, you'd almost call it like a cinematic kind of edge to his build. Like, everything seems to be built in order to create a really satisfying shot or viewpoint. It's like the whole park is built from the walking guest's perspective, you know, because there's so, like, you're doing it now, like as you go around each corner and stuff, there's so many like beautiful sight lines and all this depth and stuff. I really wanted to give a bit of a shout to the color coding that he did like early on in the park with the red and the yellow and the blue. I think there's things like that which make it so intuitive, like as a guest walking around the park more than anything. Yeah, I thought it was really stand out.
Absolutely. Mr. Matty, you are unusually quiet, so gonna bring you in on this one.
Hello there. Hello there. Wow, just incredible. I mean, I've been quiet. I've been walking around all these parks the whole video, and they're just all mind-blowing, all of them. They're all so unique. They're all so different. This park in particular, I'm getting real things like Battlestar Galactica, Star Trek, Star Wars, all these like kind of great science fiction films, and there's just so much inspiration that's come from all of them, and just the way that you can see there's a similar theme built in the game but done so unique every time. And yeah, this just absolutely smashes it, doesn't it? It's sensational, and as Cocker said, the color palette is just so vibrant all the way around. It's so well put together. It's just fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely. The level of detail here, and even in the backstage, everything's got a back of house, it's got transfer tracks, it's got maintenance areas. It's just stunning, and I can't believe that he pulled it off within the time frame to this level of detail. Look at this maintenance area,
and within the piece count limit as well.
Yes.
I mean, like it was a high piece park, but it looks like so much more.
Yeah,
you know,
under 50k. Just incredible.
It's the parks that you look at and you forget that you're looking at Planet Coaster.
Yeah.
And you know that the creator has done a good job when you have to stop and remind yourself, hang on, this is a game that I've been playing for hundreds of hours and I don't recognize it.
Yeah. Now, Haitches, we spent quite some time on shooting rides during the contest and they were delightful, but this was one that we didn't share, so I'd love to hear your thoughts.
I really enjoyed this one just for mainly the outer space moments. There's a section where like the hull has been blown. Oh yeah, this one right here. Hull's been blown open and everything's just floating. I don't know, if I had gone on this ride, well, I mean, even if I went on this ride now, I would just be in awe of it. I love this this just outer space area. How were you on this, by the way, shooting wise?
Cockers, I think I was pretty terrible.
Yeah, you were awful.
Okay.
Oh, you must have gotten better, because you were always fine whenever I rode with you.
Oh, well, that's very kind. This was an early part.
But yeah,
so,
just this exploded space ship or station. I don't really remember if it's a station or if it's a ship, but it's just so, attention to detail is just really inspiring.
Yeah, absolutely stunning work. This was kept quiet from Lucky for a long time. He didn't stream the Dark Ride, and for good reason. It was the pièce de résistance, as you might say. Yeah, I mean, I think most of it's been covered. Just the zoning of this park, the attention to detail, the cleanness. Just, yeah, I think it covers it all. It's just a phenomenal park.
It's worth remembering that he also created like the lore behind a park this small getting a budget this big, which I think is a really nice little extra mile to go to. Like he created that backstory of Welsh astronaut and stuff. It just brings it to life.
Yeah, absolutely stunning work. Well done, Lucky. In second place with 252 points, receiving a £25 Steam gift card, is Wix with Atlantica. And here we are in the park. And Fua, this was another one we had together, and what a lovely time we had.
Yes, absolutely. Stunning park.
The word for me is artistic with this one. Everything has kind of an artistic mindset for me when he was creating this. You're an artist, so I mean.
So now you want me to explain why this is artistic?
Exactly.
Well, what I absolutely love about this park is that you can see that there is so many inspirational examples that he used to mash up together and form a new theme.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, obviously, it's like a fantasy, Arabian sort of Moorish kind of theme. But I absolutely love that you can still see some kind of vintage and a bit of fairy tale. And yeah, you can just see that that's the creativity of this park. And it's very polished as well. I absolutely love the colors. He used so many light colors and the color theme that he pulled through the whole park.
Mm-hmm.
And then the facades of the houses are just stunning clutter work. I don't even know where to begin or end. I can keep going on about this park.
So, I mean, for me, this is probably the best architecture that I've seen in the contest. The building work on here, literally what we have just to our right there, the roofing is just unbelievable on that little central building there. Just the skill to pull off this to this kind of standard within the time frame and only just over the piece count is absolutely unbelievable. I believe is it on the dark ride, in fact, where Wix created an entire aquarium as well?
He did, just casually, you know.
Look at that!
Just look at it. Insane.
Absolutely unbelievable. And we all know what water it works like in Planet Coaster, and this is obviously being like facsimulated, but it just looks so realistic. It looks as though that is an actual fish tank. I don't know how he's been able to make it look that like genuine. I see all the pieces that he's used. I know the techniques that's gone into it, but there's no way that I could have like built something that stunning, that realistic, that isn't naturally done in this game. It's unbelievable.
I think you just hit the nail on the head there for me. Like when as you said, you can see the pieces that people have used, and yet you still know that you couldn't recreate it yourself, is when you know that something is a work of art. And this is a prime example of that. I mean, this station, me and Fua gushed over it enough during the spotlight.
Yeah, it's the best station we have ever seen. It's honestly so good.
I mean, when you're a Planko player and you know your pieces inside out and you can see all of the individual pieces he's used to create these textures, that's when you realize how incredible this is.
I know everyone has talked about the architecture, but what is amazing to me is the ruin effect, and I'm not talking about the ruined pieces, but I'm talking about how it looks as though these buildings have sat here forever. This is like some of the most detailed. I know everyone has said this, but it really is so impressive of how detailed it is and how run down it looks and the texture on all the walls. And it's so hard to make Planko look bad.
Yep.
All the pieces are usually so pristine and crisp, and to make your park look like it's supposed to be like a rundown or ruin or ancient building, it's so impressive to see this.
Obviously, hugely aided by the lovely Fuaranna's dirt decals. I will always mention your dirt, Fua.
Thank you, Fua.
Yeah, let's all collectively say thank you to Fua for her dirt decals.
Yes.
Thank you.
I'd like to know how many entrants use the dirt decal, because I think it's about 85%.
It's got to be, most people.
So really, you're the winner, if you think about it.
So, first place is Fuaranna.
Yes.
I can't help but relate it to a Disney park that has a like cohesive lore to it, because everything just fits together so well. The attention, and you can imagine that every ride has some story to it, and a backstory of why it's here and what it actually means in the world of this park.
Well, partnered with his custom posters that are dotted across.
Well, exactly, right.
Wix just has this ability to pull something out of an imagination and make it a Planet Coaster thing. And just to echo everything you guys have said, you know the pieces that have been used. and you know the combination in which they've been used, but I just don't know how he does it. He's like, I just wish I had, selfishly speaking, I wish I had a fraction of his whole imagination, because this is just, I just don't know how he does it. I just don't.
Well, you can literally, you'll join Wix's stream when he starts streaming, and this will be a couple of walls, and then you'll come back at the end, and he's made this, and you're like, it's been like 2-3 hours. How on earth have you ended up with this in that space of time? And I'm always in awe of it. Well done, Wix, with second place. In first place, with an incredible 331 points, receiving a £50 Steam gift card, as well as joining me for the Little Lunar Outpost collab park, is, of course, Metaparks with Radar Valley 2.0. And here we are in the park, and there's so much to just go over with Metaparks. But first of all, let's re-initialize the park, shall we? Here we go.
He is a bit of a genius, isn't he?
Oh,
Just a bit.
Are we allowed to wear Chacho swear?
Go for it.
This park has no business being this good.
Oh.
This is just, it's the first time I have ever sat with a park, not wanting to leave, not knowing what's going to happen, and in absolute awe about everything that was just going on. And at the end, where the finale at the end was the perfect finale for the actual park itself. Like, I'm not going to lie, I actually teared up. I was like, this is just an incredible piece of work. We found it so hard to record this entire spotlight because we were just in awe of everything that we were watching, and we're like, what can we say in words that's going to bring any of this more to life than we're already experiencing? We knew as soon as we hit that play button on the robot, and the robot started to do its thing, we were about to experience something special. Like, genuinely had to take a moment after that robot started. This guy here,
since July of year 11.
you just knew something special was about to happen.
Unbelievable, isn't it?
Wait a minute.
And it wasn't even the full competition length time to take him to build it, was it?
Angle snap. You wouldn't have to
No,
go
he
for
actually
one
started
dimension,
quite
would you?
late.
This could change
I
everything.
think he missed like 2
Allow me to
weeks
introduce
initially
myself.
before he
I am
even
your
started
robotic
building
target
No
it.
way.
Yeah, absolutely unbelievable. I mean, to me, I'm just going to go out there and say it. This, for me, in almost 7 years of playing this game, is the most impressive thing that I have seen done in Planco, full stop.
I think I would second that. I think I would second that. I've watched this spotlight 4 times. I've shown my wife. I actually showed my kids. And my kids aren't really that bothered about Planco. They aren't bothered about my own videos. They never really watch any of my stuff. But I had to get them to watch this, and they were just mind blown. My son said he wants one of them robots. It was just incredible. It was beautiful. And echoing what Chacho said, I actually choked up at the end. At the end, I actually teared up. It was so good. There are no words that can justify how good this park is there.
I'm still speechless to this day, even though I'm saying a lot of words.
Obviously, this introduced the first part of making choices in the park. Let's go with Arcturus, which also didn't mention this here, right? This is a replica of the shutter that was in Radar Valley, which I took for granted. But when you click this and you click the one you want, you realise it's a screen. And when he finishes talking, this opens like that.
Wow.
So in a literal sense, he's taken a screenshot of my shutter and disguised it as a sliding door. And then obviously we're greeted with this, which...
Mind-blowing.
yeah.
This is the centerpiece. It ticks all the boxes, doesn't it?
Phenomenal.
I mean, if this was real, and you walked into a room and looked at that,
Yeah.
you would really just have to stop, wouldn't you? You wouldn't. You'd have to stop and take it in. You wouldn't walk into a room, look at it, and walk on.
No.
I think we can all agree that this is probably the best storytelling in Planet Coaster ever.
Oh, hands down.
Hands down. Nothing comes close. How do you top a story like this?
Yeah.
I mean, through the course of the contest, we've had amazing dark rides with amazing stories, but this is an entire park that just does that from the second that you open the door and have your first greetings with the robot there, all the way up to the end. Just everything leads from one thing to the next, just perfectly. It's unbelievable, the thought and the effort that's gone into it, and the technical ability to be able to pull that off, not only in like the building, which obviously is stunning, but to tie all of the media together, to tie all the sequencing together. It's mind-boggling work.
But I have to mention, so Metaparks did reach out afterwards and say that I did miss a sequencer. And he's explained that the song that we're about to hear is by a guy called Thomas Barrenden, who is a fan of Planet Coaster and theme parks in general. And this song was... Metaparks got permission to use this song, copyright-free, by Thomas, which just adds to this even more. It's just, all of it's just spectacular. But anyway, here is the sequencer that we neglected to use first time around.
Wow.
Wow.
Just when you thought it couldn't get even better.
This all gives me chills.
Yeah.
I don't know, but that hit me right in the gut.
It's one of them parks that you're just gonna keep coming back to and finding new things. I'm kind of, there's a little bit of me that's glad that we didn't see that, because it means that we've now got something new to see when we come back and see it as the winner, and it's like that's the crowning part of the park.
I mean, the neighbours would hate it, but we love it.
You really would. But oh my god, there's just so much to talk about with this park.
This is taking you to the Horror Heights, which is the pre-show to the pre-show, isn't it?
Yeah. Yes, you have to go through the Horror Heights to get to the Dark Ride, and then within the Dark Ride, you have all of the station stuff that kicks off that then completely changes when you're on the Dark Ride, so that you exit through the same through the same room that you were just in.
It's in a ride that's actually a ride that changes another ride that's also a ride. Mental.
It was like Planet Coaster Inception.
By triggering this ride, it also triggers these things, which changes where you come out, I believe. There we go. So all the doors move.
Wow.
Wow.
Changing the station for when you come back off of it. So you've just been kidnapped by aliens. You're now in their spaceship. And you go down to the holding cell.
Genius.
And then from here, this was one of my favourite scenes.
Pathetic. It seems your captain has flown way too close to us way too many times. You can stay here until I come back later to tell you that there is no way to escape.
And then we get this wonderful sequence here.
I'm breaking you out, Traveler. Quickly, hop into these escape pods I found and let's get out of here. Please move quickly. Those metal walkways will only stay down for about another 3 seconds.
Which is when you realise that whole Horror Heights before that was just the pre-show to the Dark Ride.
It's a bit like the Walking Dead ride, where you have that pre-show where he's like, I'm opening this, except better than the actual Walking Dead ride.
Oh, by a long shot.
This then triggers many things. So there you can hear all the walls dropping down, everything changing, so that when you come off the ride, you are then... This is now your exit station. Where you get another interaction with the robot, and it's just that again and again and again. The final thing we're obviously going to have to look at again is the Moom, the finale, because we're kind of sequence breaking this whole park now, so hopefully I haven't messed anything up. Let's try and do this again.
Got to have the epic music.
Obviously. Here we go.
This is great.
I can't explain the feeling that I felt when I saw myself as the climax for what had been with Chacho. I think it took us about an hour and 20 minutes to get around the whole thing.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
And for the whole thing to end up being me. It was me all along.
How has he made that? Is that basic shapes or?
It is, yeah. Maybe icing as well.
Yeah, there's icing in there, possibly like some.
Wow.
Dots.
When you get up close, you can see
461 pieces. God.
I hope that's uploaded onto the workshop at some point, so you can. Oh my god!
There's the back of me.
Maybe not that side. I hope it's uploaded to the workshop at some point, so people can add their massive movement into their park.
I don't encourage that at all. But, and this is not even talking about this whole area here. Just, yeah, I mean, if you're seeing this all for the first time, go back and watch the spotlight because just, my goodness.
You won't
No, not at all. It was just incredible. The storytelling for me was the key thing, and the story mixed with the changing of the park as you moved through it, and it adjusted to what you did. And I just can't wait to see Meta do more of it. And I'm excited to work with him, not only in Little Lunar Outpost, but I want to do more with him in the future because, yeah, I mean, this guy's going places. That's all I have to say.
I feel his diary is going to be chock-a-block with
I think so.
with requests, and rightly so.
Yeah.
As long as the robot returns.
Yes. I'm actually taking the robot as part of Moom and Little Sock's intellectual property. So
yeah, everything's submitted.
Yes.
They should have read the fine print.
Exactly. This robot is now mine. Just like the Spotlight, I don't really have words for this park. It's just beyond anything I've ever seen before.
The final word from me would be wiggly waggly.
It's very wiggly waggly, isn't it, Mike?
Oh, it's so wiggly waggly, man.
Yeah. This is a park that's going to be remembered for years and years down the line. In 2, 3, 4 years, people will still remember this park. It's going to be one that stands out. It's going to stand the test of time. And what a worthy winner. And Moomin, to you as well for hosting such an amazing contest, for so many people to come together. It's brought the whole community together. It's just been amazing. Some of the best work I think I've ever seen done on Planet Coaster in this entire 7-year history. So well done, Moomin, for hosting such a good contest.
Shush.
Yeah, I think we're all looking forward to the next one. No rush.
No rush. No, don't worry. There are plans. Haitches, are you still alive?
No, he's gone.
No, he's
Haitches
dead.
has been talking for like half an hour.
Yeah. I'll assume that Haitches is fine. Which just leaves me to say an enormous thank you to all of my guests throughout the contest. It's been a pleasure having you all on board and working with you all. It's been an utter delight.
Thanks, Moomin.
Before I do my outro, we'll just say a big goodbye to all of you. So collectively and in harmony, if you could all just say goodbye together.
Goodbye.
Oh, so beautiful. Well, there we have it. New Park Who Dis is over, and what a roller coaster it's been. Pardon the pun. But genuinely, I have enjoyed every second of hosting this contest, and I cannot wait to announce what's coming next. I feel like you should probably subscribe just so you don't miss anything coming up on the channel, but you know, that's your call. You have full agency, and I respect the decisions you make. Thank you to each and every one of you who supported me and this contest. You're all bloody marvellous. Much love, and I'll catch you soon.